Hi students, my name is Karen Reed. I am the GCC librarian who works directly with your Psychology 132 class. In this video, I am going to tell you all about your book club assignment, which will take place over the course of the entire semester. By the end of this video, you will know all of the details of the assignment and what's expected of you. You will also know how to find your library research guide and how to use the resources in that guide to be successful in this assignment. So this assignment requires you to join a reading club, and that's not optional. Everyone in the class is going to be put into a book group, a reading club book group. And these groups are going to be about 3 to 5 students each, no more than 5 students in a group. Everyone in the group will agree upon one book that they're going to read, a single book that everybody in the group is going to read and discuss. You guys are going to form a reading schedule so that from this point in the semester till the end of the semester, you will have read the entire book. And at the very end of the semester, you are going to create a group presentation for the class. Honor students also need to write a 2 to 3 page critical analysis of the book, and each honor student will do that individually. And then everybody has an optional element for this assignment, which is you can submit a book review, a brief book review on the Goodreads open website if you want to. Okay, so the first step in beginning this assignment is to find your library research guide, and this is going to help you form your book group. So you're going to check out your title choices for this assignment by using the library research guide that I created for your class. You're going to choose a couple of title options that sound interesting to you so that in the online class discussion that you have for forming your groups, you're going to be able to identify students in the class who are interested in the same titles that you are. So I'm going to hop over to Canvas so I can show you how to access your library research guide. Okay, so in Canvas, you will see that there is an option right here on the left called Library Resources. And if you click on Library Resources, that is going to bring you to the guide I created for your class. The guide is broken down into different tabs, and each tab has different information in it. So if I click on Find Articles, I'm going to be able to search right from this guide for articles. What we want to look for is Book Club Assignment Title Choices, and right below it are details and resources about the assignment. If I go into the title choices, I will see the 15 different books that I have to choose from, or that you have to choose from for this assignment. And each book has a little description so you can get an idea of what it's about. We have a mix of books on this list. We have fiction, we have full-length novels, we have books of short stories, we have memoir and nonfiction, and there's quite a bit to choose from here. So you're going to have a good variety. Here, this one's a true crime one. I love true crime personally. So most of these books you can look at in ebook format as well. And I have actually let you know that we have 2 ebook platforms at the library, or at least 2, ProQuest eBook Central and eBooks from EBSCO. And if you go into these different books, I couldn't link directly to the book titles, but if I was looking for 1984, for example, I have listed in my notes that this book is available on ProQuest eBook Central. So I would go into ProQuest eBook Central and type in 1984, and it would bring up the book. If anybody needs help learning how to use the library ebooks, I would be happy to show you how to do that. Once you have been placed in your small book group and the members have agreed on a single title that you are all going to read for the assignment, your group is going to create a reading schedule. So you're going to have 3 online book discussion groups for your book. but it's recommended that you break your book into four sections to correspond with the 4 evidence journals that each individual member of the group will complete. So 3 online book discussion groups, 4 evidence journals total. So you might want to read chapters, 1 through 6 for the first discussion group. And then, you're going to divvy up the book over the course of the semester so it aligns neatly with your 4 evidence journals that you are going to turn in. And an evidence journal is how you are, as you read your book, you're going to be making notes. You're going to be making connections between what you are learning in the class, what you are learning about cultural psychology, and which of those concepts are being reflected in the book that you have chosen. In week 5 on your Canvas course, you will find a link for the evidence journal. So if you click on that evidence journal link, you're going to see what it looks like and what you are expected to fill out for this assignment. So as you're reading your book, you want to keep these things in mind. First, you are going to note 5 or more important or interesting quotes that strike you when you're reading your section of the book according to your reading schedule. So you're going to make a copy of this evidence journal, and you're going to type in the quote or write in the quote that you found that struck you. And you're going to put that on the left side of your evidence journal. And on the right side, you're going to talk about how you responded to that material. How did you feel when you read that section of the book? What did you think about? How did you connect to that? Did you ever have a similar feeling that the main character felt? You are going to record that in your evidence journal. You are also going to write a summary of the section that you read, and again, your response to the summary. So if you read chapters 1 through 6 for the first part of your reading schedule, you're going to write a summary of what happened in those chapters, and then what you felt, wondered, or thought about those chapters. And finally, and this is probably the most important part of the evidence journal, you are going to be looking for cultural or psychological themes in the section that you read. These are the ideas, the concepts that you're learning in your class from your teacher. And you are then going to identify them in the book, and then you're going to, again, record how you felt or what you thought about when you read that section. How, maybe you read a book about a main character who's a narcissist, and you can connect that culturally to something that you're learning in the class. So I returned to our research guide, our library research guide, so that I can show you that in the guide, this entire presentation, the Google slide presentation that links with this video is in the guide. If you go into this tab of the guide, you will see the Book Club Google slide right there. So if you need to refer to anything that I told you in this video, or you want to look at those details, it's right there in the guide for you. And of course, I'm always very happy to help you. If you need to get a hold of me, my contact information is on the library website and in this research guide in several places. Additionally, you can contact me directly through Canvas because I am listed in your Canvas course as a TA. On the home page of the library guide, if you scroll to the very bottom, there's my email address, my office number, my office in the library, and the library is open this semester if you would like to come by and pick up a book for this assignment. That does remind me, you might want to invest in purchasing a copy of the book since you're going to need it all semester long. Of course, as a librarian, I always encourage you to check out library books, whether they're physical books that you hold in your hand or whether they're ebooks. But you might find it useful to purchase a copy of this book so that you have it for sure the entire semester. I believe that books equal happiness, and you have so many books to choose from for this assignment. Please reach out to me, reach out to your instructor if you have questions. I would be very happy to help you and anything that you need. Have a great semester.